What's up, guys? Sam from Cycle Technology here at Havoc Bike Park. John's back.
Hi guys.
There he is, look. A lovely piece of man. We brought John back because he featured in our most successful video yet. I think it got like 13 views or something, so obviously it's all about John, innit?
It's all about the old man.
Yeah, it's all about the old boy. But he can rip this Slash, so we've come here today at Havoc Bike Park to compare the analogue Slash Gen 6 and the Slash Plus, which I don't know if it is Gen 6 because it's the first one of its kind. So that's what we're going to do today. It is very windy. The ground is very wet and covered in sheep droppings. And yeah, we're just going to see how these bikes stack up against one another. Obviously, one of them's going to be better at bringing itself back to the top again. And,
I pushed up.
John pushed all the way up, and I imagine one of them's probably going to be a bit nicer riding downhill. But let's see how they compare for anyone who's wondering. All right, let's get to it.
Whoa! Too bad.
Alright guys, so we've done a couple of laps so far. I've been on the Slash Plus, John's been on his Slash. At this point, John has not ridden this bike, but I have ridden John's before, so I can give my comparison at this stage. This bike isn't as, what's the right word?
Agile.
No, well, yes, it's definitely not as agile, but it's not as cumbersome as I thought it was going to be. That's my first takeaway from it. The conditions here are really sticky, wet mud, tyres are getting clogged up, these things are slipping all over the place, but actually this is still handling itself really well. You know, I'm still being able to control it well through berms, and I'm not a pro, I can't absolutely shred and, you know, go balls to the wall, but for my ability, like, I'm finding this bike is actually quite nice. I feel like if I came down here on a rail in these conditions, that extra bit of weight that those things carry, I feel like I'd be washing out all over the place. You know, I'd be coming up short on jumps and stuff. I'm overshooting jumps on this still, you know, and going too far. So it just shows that, like, yeah, it's a little bit heavier than a normal Slash, but actually the weight penalty isn't all that bad. The other thing I've noticed, and you'll see in the footage, is that frequently I'm just riding past John who's pushing up, and this thing's dragging my backside up hills that are steep, man. This is like, you know, 30-40 degrees in places, and this bike it's digging in and it's carrying me up there. Yes, I'm having to put some effort in. I've got this thing maxed out on the TQ app, so everything's at its full wattage and full assist, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's taking me back to the top, and I've still got energy to have more runs. I'd also like to point out that after a couple of runs, I've got 86% battery. I've not been out of turbo mode, it's been in its full power setting already. So that's 2 runs that I've got in, and I've used 15% of battery. So do the math, you know, how many runs would you expect to get in over a day? This thing is doing, I think, what it's designed to do. So that's my take at this point in the day.
And it's a good climb from bottom to top.
Yeah.
It's steep.
It's
a good climb.
Yeah.
I mean, I pedalled for maybe a minute and a half, and then I got off and pushed because it was just too much. There's just no way am I pedalling up there. No. But I'd be interested to know when I get down the difference of pedalling back up.
Yeah.
I'd be really interested.
Yeah.
Because obviously I haven't done much on a 50 Newton half fat bike, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Obviously I've got a full fat e-bike, so I'm really interested to know how that feels going up this steep, quite long uplift track to get to the top. Yeah, yeah. And then more interested to see how it feels coming down. Yeah, so we'll see.
So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to finish this section that we're on. Back at the bottom, we're going to swap bikes. I'm going to be blowing out my backside, pushing the analogue Slash up. John's going to ride this up, and we'll get some more feedback and see how this thing behaves and see what John thinks to it as well. All right, guys. See you then. So it's due to the conditions. I don't know if you can see, but our tyres are just getting totally filled up with mud and you know, various animal
excrement.
So I'm just letting a few PSI out. I've already done a bit, I don't want to do too much. I'm just going to give myself a bit more traction. The long and the short of it is, right, these Bontrager tyres, they're not the best out there. Everybody knows it, you know. Sorry, Trek. I'm not trying to slag off your stuff, but these tyres are great. If you're just doing, you know, like leisurely pottering around and stuff and you're just getting into mountain biking, they're fine. But if you're doing stuff like this, like proper park stuff, jumps, berms, wet and muddy conditions, you're going to want to swap these out for something. And I don't think that's too harsh to say. Everybody knows it anyway, so yeah. But they're doing all right. They're holding me up. I haven't fallen off yet. So yeah, a few less PSI, a bit more traction. Yo, no, I'm good. Unplanned durability test. So took off here. Really felt like I had a good feeling like I was going to be able to clear this. Went all the way up here and landed 50-50 on top of there. So yeah, one front wheel on the landing and rear wheel on the back of the landing. And the bike's still in one piece. So I guess it's pretty tough. I'm not injured either.
That's wet, that's a nice one.
It's some slippy stuff. Hang on, I'm coming.
He's coming. It's covered in mud. You've totally carnaged that berm.
Yeah, I'll pipe it down in a minute. So then, just twisted my ankle a bit. Oh man. Well, that was just the last little bit of the course here at Havoc. I've done a few runs and have been on the Slash Plus all the way down, and it's been great. I don't think that was the Slash's fault. That's just basically a bog in the bottom of that berm. So yeah, that's why that happened. But this bike's been wicked, man. I've really enjoyed going down and going up as well. I mean, not going up as much because it's you know, it requires effort, doesn't it? And going down requires less effort. But yeah, jumps, berms. I've cleared some stuff that I didn't think I was going to be able to clear because obviously it's heavier. Done some pretty big jumps and some nice drops and things. And it, yeah, I felt good about the way it was handled. I felt good about my own riding. I've also messed up a few times, come up short, washed out, and so on. And this bike's just been fine for that stuff as well. You know, I've come down this really wet and windy day here at Havoc, and yeah, it's been fun, and I'm in one piece. I've liked it. What about you, John? What are you saying about coming down there on your Slash with your tyres, which now are like 90% mud?
Yeah, it's been tiring for me, definitely, because normally what I do is I'll go on an uplift day, so I don't pedal this at all. So yeah, I've had to push up. You've had to power up under your own power and a bit of electric assistance. So I'm interested after lunch to go up on that and really see the difference in what it's all about, because I mean, because obviously at the end of the day it's the same bike, the same geometry, the same layout. It's just got that motor, so I'm looking forward to seeing the difference, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, me too, man. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab a few snacks now and get a bit of caffeine, and then we'll have another run and see what it's like. Do the old switcheroo. Nice one, John.
Yeah.
I'm dead already.
Right, I've swapped to the Slash Plus, so I'm climbing back up for another lap. So this is my first go on the Slash Plus, so let's see how far 50 Newton meters can get me up this steep in places uplift track. Excuse the heavy breathing, I'm old and I've got asthma. I do own a full fat e-bike with 85 Newton meters, so I do know the difference. And yeah, there is a difference, but it's doing its job. It's getting me back up to the top. I think I'm about halfway, I'm not sure. I'm glad I'm not pushing back up again, because that was a bit of a killer this morning.
So Chris has just come and pushed the microphone in my hand, seeing how much I'm struggling on the analog slash. Probably a good time to say on the plus, I mean, I'm about, I don't know, like 1/8 of the way up. On the slash plus, I went the whole way up this track, all the way to the top. I was panting a little bit, yeah, my legs weren't burning, I was good. Now I've done this much, that's where we had us lunch down there. I've done this much at trail, I'm knackered, honestly, like I need to have a rest. I'm not fit by any stretch of the imagination anyway, but like if you compare, it's me, the same person that rode the plus, is now on the analog bike, and I've come barely any of the distance that I came on that plus, and I'm getting off to walk basically, because I'm not even going any kind of speed. I'm absolutely knackered. That plus just drags you up. It does, like I say, again, what it's supposed to do. It is meant to be its own shuttle run back to the top. It's not going to be as easy as jumping in a Land Rover, but it's considerably easier than riding an analog slash back to the top anyway. So, right, I'm going to catch my breath back.
Ooh, well, that's me to the top. I don't know where Sam is, but yeah, I definitely got 10, maybe 15 minutes on him. The bike performed as it should, really. There were a few that I not struggled, but I think that's down to my fitness. A few steep bits, but I didn't stop. I just carried on, powered through. Yes, I'm still in the highest power, but it got up the hill. We know great detriment to my legs, lungs. I've got 75% left. So yeah, I don't know how many of them I could do in a day, but the bike does what you want it to do. It gets you at the top of an hill and you're ready to shred the downs, which is the fun bits. Yeah, so now that I'm at the top, I'm really looking forward to getting to that last little bit and powering it down these wet, muddy downs, but I'm looking forward to it because I say I've been down on my slash, so I'm really looking forward to going down on this for a good comparison to seeing the difference. I know there's a suspension difference. Mine's obviously top spec, this is mid, I suppose, but we'll just go with a basic bike and I'll just give you my honest opinion at the bottom. But I'm looking forward to it, and I think, to be fair, I'm going to enjoy it.
Oh man, bring me the slash plus back, honestly. So that's John up there, up at the top of the hill, looking pretty happy with himself. I'm down here. Honestly, camera might not do it justice. He is way higher than I am. Like, he's up there. I've still got all that to go. I feel a little bit sad, to be honest with you, that I'm gonna have to push all this way up the hill, and he's already up there. And I know what he's feeling like, because he's feeling like, yeah, that were all right, that slash dragged me to the top of the hill and it did a pretty good job, and I'm ready for the downhill running, which is what that bike is designed to do. So we've had to change the way that we're doing things here at Havoc, because I honestly can't push up this hill anymore. So I'm carrying this, and there's Chris.
Not sure how this has happened, it wasn't in the job description.
Yeah, but you know, it's so it has to be done, because I'm knackered. I just want the slash plus back, and I'm not just saying that like it were a breeze to get to the top and then pushing up, which obviously it's not always what you have to do, is it? Because often you get uplifts and stuff, but man, the difference, the amount of energy required to get to the top of a hill, even on an e-bike that's not got a massive 85 or 90 or 110 Newton meter motor in it, it's got 50 in it. It does so much of the work for you. It leaves you feeling all good, and then pushing back to the top of that very same hill, it's absolutely killing me. I'm still out of breath and all I'm carrying is a camera and a helmet. So we've swapped bikes, as you can see, and we're almost back at the top. John's actually been up to the top, the very top, a couple of times, come back down.
A couple of downs, well, not full downs, but a little play around here.
Had a bit of a blast over that, yeah. Like, I'm still recovering from the trip up, to be honest with you, with this bike, and also carrying Chris's camera instead, because I'm weak. But yeah, we're going to go to the tippy top, and we're going to come down and basically just have a blast doing what we did the first time around, and get the take, both being on different bikes. It'll be interesting to see what John thinks about how this performs on the downhills. We know what he thinks about it coming up. Obviously it does most of the work for you, which is great, but we want to see, is it still an effective downhill machine as well? And he's come fresh off his analogue Slash, and now he's got the same bike, yeah, different suspension on it, but extra weight from the motor and the battery. So let's see what we think about that.
I can't even say it anymore.
Squalping. What do you think about squalping, John?
So what we've learned from today is these bikes aren't great, but also neither of us can. Is it squalp? Schlalping. Neither of us can squalp, but John can still skid. John, thoughts on this?
53 could still skid.
Dad, I need a new tyre. Okay, I don't know why I've still got my helmet on, but we're here. We're live. I'm just going to leave it on. Yeah, man, we're at the bottom of the hill again. I came down on the analogue slosh. I came down on the analogue slosh. John came down on the slosh.
It was sloshy.
Yeah, it was sloshy. John came down on the slosh plus. My first thoughts about this were I hated going uphill. It absolutely murdered me. When you've got an uplift, you're sound, but if you don't have the luxury of an uplift, getting any bike to the top of a hill that's as steep as this is an absolute pain, man. But, you know, coming back down, this felt a bit more manoeuvrable. It was easier to correct my mistakes. I felt a little bit more confident in the berms. I mean, it's not a surprise, is it? Like, it's a lighter bike. It's not carrying the extra weight of the motor and the battery. So it was to be expected, really, but I wouldn't say it's a million miles away from this bike in the way that it handles coming downhill. You know, there's definitely a compromise there. You add a bit of extra weight and stuff, but it pulls you to the top of the hill. So actually, I think they've hit a really good mark with the Slash Plus. The original Slash, the analogue Slash, is an absolute beast of a bike, man. Especially the way that John's got it set up with, you know, with his fork and the EXT shock. It just eats everything, man. And like I say, it's really forgiving, so you don't have to rely too much on your own skills and abilities, which is great for me because I'm not that good. We didn't hit some of the bigger sections coming down here because the wind really picked up, and we've all got, you know, jobs and responsibilities to go back to. But honestly, I had a blast on both bikes. Yeah, this one for the downhill, that one for just the all-day riding, where you don't have the luxury over Land Rover to rag you back up to the top, basically. But yeah, what are you saying, John? What's your thought?
Yeah, I mean, it's like what you were saying. Going up on, say, my bike when I first did it, you just get to the top and you just need half an hour to compose yourself.
Yeah.
Where I got to the top of it, got to the top on the Slash Plus, and while I was waiting for you, I just sessioned a couple of little jump sections up there. So that's what it's all about. It gets you there. You're not dying.
Yeah.
You can enjoy yourself up there while your mates are whatever pushing up or eating a sandwich back at van. Yeah, it's just great. And to be fair, the extra weight, I think today I actually liked it because obviously it's so windy, and some of the bigger jumps up at the top, it just felt more composed. And when wind hits you on a lighter bike, you know about it. You still know about it, but it's forgiving, and it's planted, and you know where you're going to land.
Yep.
But I say, for going uphill, up here, it's just been a dream, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, because I said first this morning, yeah, we're blowing, all proper blowing, and up and got on this, went up. In fact, I could probably go up and do another one.
Yeah.
Quite easily.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to go up again on that, would you?
No, absolutely not. And that's the question I'm going to say. Like, you know, ask me, do I want to go and do another run on this? Like, put me in a Land Rover, yeah. If it's walking back up, no, I'm ready for home. Actually, I'd happily pedal back to the top of that. It makes the uphills, although there's still work to be done, it makes them fun as well. You know, when it gets mega steep, you're like, oh God, yeah, this is tough. But the rest of it's actually joy, and you can mess around and do some extra runs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's worth it. I think what they've done there is what they were aiming for, and what this bike is marketed as. I think they've actually hit the mark with it.
And to be fair, I'll just put in, to be fair, I know it's basically kind of the same bike, but obviously the handlebars are like 820 as standard. Yeah. The forks, the air shock, it's different to mine, but it didn't feel massively like, oh, this is a different bike. I felt it was pretty much straight away comfortable. I hit that big table up at top.
Yeah, you did.
Bit windy, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Just to get on a fresh bike and do something like that. Yeah. For me, anyway. Yeah. An old boy. Yeah. You know, it pays that the bike puts you in that mindset of, yeah, I'm comfortable on this.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't think that's like, you can't put a price on that, can you?
No.
And the other thing to note as well is we've got 71% battery left. Now, we haven't been at it all day. We started at about 10 o'clock. It's now like 2:30. Obviously, when you're filming, there's a lot of stop-start and stuff. But this bike has done a lot of hauling me and John up this hill, which is very steep. It's been in turbo all day long, and we hadn't even used a full 30% of the battery yet. So for anybody wondering, because I know people do, that's a big question when it comes to e-bikes. How long is the battery going to last me? What's the range on it? I can't tell you the full range.
It's been muddy.
It's been really muddy, really wet, really boggy. I'll try and have a look on the app later on and see exactly how many, you know, miles we did and how much power we used. But at the end of the day, we've just been doing what we want with this bike, having loads of fun, and we've still got 71% of battery left.
I'm 12 stone. What are you?
About 13, yeah. So, you know, give you some idea, like this bike probably will last you all day at the bike park, going up and down. Probably it'll outlast your legs and your lungs, unless you're super fit, which neither me or John are. So yeah, cool. Takeaway from this, both bikes are amazing. This bike performs better than I thought it was going to do, and it takes you to the top as well. So the answer to the question, does the Trek Slash Plus pull its own weight? Is and my weight as well, pretty easily. So good bike, man. It's been a good day. Nice one, John.
Yeah, no, nice one, mate. Thanks for inviting me again.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. Obviously, we've enjoyed making this video. If you have enjoyed watching it and you want to see more stuff like this, please drop us a like and a subscribe, because I'm usually in the workshop fixing these things, but when we get the opportunity to do this, it gets me out of there and gets me on the mountain, and I absolutely love it. So yeah, thanks.